Hey guys, so a lot of you want to know whether or not you should buy in 2022 or wait, keep renting and wait until 2023 to buy or when you see that market shift. A lot of you also want to know if there's going to be a crash. I'm going to give you my thoughts at the end of this video, so stay tuned to the end. So we'll talk about all of that throughout this video. But for those of you that are just seeing me for the very first time, I'm Knifie Burks. I'm your Tampa Bay area realtor with Real Broker. I help buyers and investors create legacies with real estate. And whether you are in Tampa area or anywhere in the U.S., I'm still here to help. So regardless, comment with your questions, give me a call, send a text with your questions. I'll drop that number as well. But let's start with what has caused this. What's caused the price increases? So what's caused the price increase are the low interest rates that we had a couple of months ago. Right now it's May 18th of 2022. Our interest rates are nearly almost 6% the other day when I looked at them. I haven't looked at them in a few days, so I don't know what they are today, but they were about 5.6 or something like that. But back in January, they were about 2 to 3%, so they were a lot lower. So that caused an influx of buyers, an influx of offers, and I'm not going to say just January, about the entire year before that time too, as well. We had low interest rates. Also, another thing that has caused the increase is that people can now work wherever they want. So Tampa area has gotten a huge influx. We normally, on average, get about 150 people per day that move here. In the state of Florida, we normally, on average, get about 1,000 people that move here per day. But now, of course, it's a lot more because people are able to work from wherever they want. People can work remotely. So those are a few reasons why we've seen a huge increase. Also, another one is that people can now buy homes virtually. You basically, well, you probably could, you can always do it. It's just that people were not comfortable doing it. I have a few clients that have come here from out of state and they've checked out the areas. They've seen specifically what areas they want to live in, and when they see something online, they reach out to me to write an offer on it. So a lot of people are doing virtual offer or offering on homes that they've only seen virtually. So those are a couple of reasons that the prices have increased a lot. But the market is still competitive. It's still very competitive. But let's talk about what I'm seeing in my market specifically right now. I'm seeing two things. I'm seeing price reductions, a lot of price reductions, and I'm also seeing homes staying on the market a little bit longer. And this is in the Tampa and surrounding areas. Now, this is not every home. There may be somebody that comments and says they're all of the homes in their area are going under contract within 24 to 48 hours. Yeah, there are specific pockets where there still are. But me, as a realtor going in every day, I'm seeing those price changes every single day. I'm seeing those price decreases every single day. So those are two things that are kind of going on, which is kind of telling me that there is going to be a shift. On average, when everything was on fire, the market's still kind of on fire, but when everything was like blowing up, um, homes were selling within 24 to 48 hours with 15 to 20 contracts. Right now, some homes are staying on the market for, I'm saying 15, 20, 30 days at a time. So this is causing sellers, and I kind of put it in my title. It's causing a little shame to sellers, and they're in a space where they're decreasing the prices. So I wanted to kind of share this article with you really quickly. Sellers feel shame if they don't get bids. So this is why we're seeing a lot of price decreases because they've come in expecting to get 15 to 20 offers within 24 hours, but the market is shifting just a little bit. Here in Tampa, you know what? I'm going to hold that off to later. I'll tell you what my thoughts are about Tampa a little later on in this video. But and this one is kind of based on uh, Chicago. So it says, in a current seller's market means many homes end up in bidding wars. Fierce competition is the talk of the town and topic of many stories. Let's see, there was something that I wanted to point out to you all. Sellers whose homes linger on the market may need to have a heart-to-heart talk with their real estate agent about the next steps to renew their interest. Could their house be priced too high? In most cases, yes. In most cases, yes, because a lot of sellers see that you can get 50, 60, 100K in some areas over ask. So they ask their realtors to price it that high. And a lot of realtors agree with it. But for me, what I do is I pull comps, of course. Most agents should do that. Pull comps and make sure my client's price is in alignment with what's going on with the market. If I'm seeing a lot of properties that are coming back on the market, or because contracts are being canceled, then I'm going to speak to my seller about that. And right now, at this time, I'm seeing a lot of properties coming back on the market or either staying on the market too long. So that's definitely something to think about when you are in a space where you're ready to buy. Kind of look at the market. Ask your realtor about pending. Ask your realtors about properties coming back on the market before you make that offer. Because if you make an offer 50K over ask, and there is no other offers on that property, of course that seller is going to take that offer. So make sure you're doing your due diligence and asking your realtor the right questions. So should I buy now? The thing that you want to think about when you're thinking about buying in a seller's market, if you're a buyer in the seller's market, think about, will my mortgage be less than or equal to what I'm paying in rent? Then of course it'll make sense. So don't go online looking at the mortgage calculators. Of course, some of them are kind of close, but they're not always accurate based on your specific situation. So you need to reach out to the lender, even if you get, so pre-approval is basically the full approval, saying you're eligible, you're getting a pre-approval letter. Contact a lender to get pre-qualified. That's where they kind of go over your income and kind of calculate numbers for you so that you'll know, okay, if I can get a mortgage that's less than what my rent is, I'm going to move forward with pre-approval. So that's one thing that you can think about when you're wondering, okay, should I buy a home now? The next thing is, do you have a larger down payment that goes along with buying a home in this market? Because the sellers are still not giving any concessions. Even though the market is shifting just a little bit, I'm seeing a little bit of a shift. They're not, they're definitely not giving any type of credits right now. So definitely make sure you have all of your down payment. Make sure you have your closing costs. Make sure you have your earnest money. And for those of you that don't know what the earnest money is, that is the deposit that you need as soon as you go under contract. Normally, that earnest money is about 1%. But right now in this market, it's better to offer a little bit more to let the sellers know that you're serious about purchasing that property. In the end, you'll get that money back. I've had seller or buyers that have offered 5%. Some have offered 10%. But you do get that money back. Well, not get it back in the end. It goes as a credit to you at closing at the end. So it's not like you're just giving the seller a check or anything. So make sure you have your earnest money, your down payment, your closing costs. You will need appraisal fees if you're doing FHA. So there's different types of fees that your lender is going to speak with you about. Just make sure you have those in advance, and then some if possible. But if you're in a place where you're struggling to get those amounts together that the lender has told you, then it may be a good idea to wait until you can get savings. Because, and I'm, as a realtor, I'm definitely not trying to scare you out of this market. A lot of realtors will say now is the time to buy. Now is not the time for everyone to buy. If you don't have the savings that you need to put that down payment on a home, it may not be the time. Because with that home comes things like maybe repairs. So you may get into a home and the seller, of course, is not giving a warranty right now. You may get into that home and the AC goes out or something major goes out, and you spent all of the money from your savings on your down payment and your closing costs. So make sure you have extra on top of what your down payment and closing costs are. So should I wait? I think I kind of dove into that a little bit, but should I wait on purchasing a home? Should I wait until 2023 or whenever I see the market shift to purchase a home? If you decide to wait, yes, there may be more room to negotiate. There may be more room to get a lower price. There may be some room in this market to get a lower price because, as you can see, sellers are starting to drop or do price reductions as their um, properties are sitting on the market a little bit longer. It may also be easier for you guys that are getting in with FHA or VA loans because most of you know that the cash bids, the cash offers were winning because there's no finance contingency, and then the conventional offers were second choice for a lot of the sellers. So those are two reasons to think about if you're deciding to wait. Now, here's the big question. Do I see a market crash? And I probably kind of jumped into this a little bit too. Do I see a market crash? No, not in Tampa. There may be markets or pockets of crashes in different areas. And when I say that, I'm speaking about the areas where there is not a influx or a consistent influx of new people moving in. Tampa and the entire state of Florida, there's always people that are moving in. So I don't see a crash here. I see that there will be a shift. Um, there may be um, a space where the prices are, of course, starting to go down enough for a lot of you to be back in a space where you can afford it or where you can get a mortgage that's close to what you're paying in rent or less. Um, but I don't see a total crash. Of course, there will probably be foreclosures and things like that that happen. But because we have a huge influx of people that always come in, we're going to consistently see people buying. And because a lot of these people are able to work remotely, they're employed in Chicago or they're employed in California or they're employed in Tennessee, wherever they're employed at, they're able to come here and live and boost the economy. So I don't see a crash happening here, but there may be some states where there's an influx of people moving out, that there's a crash. So look up whatever city you're in, just Google and say how many people move into this city per year. So let me just show you. I'm going to pull this up for you. How many people move to Tampa each day? Let's see. My computer is a little slow because I'm outside. Okay, so it's normally about 150. I don't know how long this is going to take. It's normally about 150 per day. And since the pandemic, 9,000 more people moved here than away during the first 2 months of 2022. So it's normally, so this would probably be, okay, this was monthly. So average about 150 people per day would move to the Tampa Bay area. So just type in your city. And if your city, let me close this because it's freezing. If your city is a city where people are moving out of, it's going to say, instead of people moving into, it's going to say people are moving out of the city per day. Or you've seen a decrease in people moving um, into the city per day. So just type in your city in Google and see what it says there. And then you may see a little bit of a crash or a big crash. And that will help you kind of determine if you're going to be able to get investment properties as well. So that's another thing to think about. So I think that's about it. That's everything that I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to share with you, kind of give you an idea of things to think about when you are looking to buy a home in 2022. Um, Things to think about again are, is your rent higher than what the mortgage would be, or do you have a larger down payment when it comes to purchasing your homes? If you're thinking about waiting, think about in the future you may have more room to negotiate, and then it may be easier to win bids with FHA or VA loans. But one thing that you can do is, if you're really pushing to get into a home, get into a space where you can qualify for a conventional loan. See what your lender needs for you to get qualified for a conventional loan. Some conventional loans don't require a 20% down. Some of them are as low as 5% down. So take that into consideration. Also, if you are in a space where you have FHA and VA now, don't give up on the process, because I've seen people still winning bids when they're, like last week, someone posted that they were able to get their buyer into a home 40K under asking because the home was overpriced. So if you have a good realtor that knows the market and that pulls the comps for you, you may be able to get into that home before the summer is over with. So if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out to me. Give me a call or shoot me a text, 813-413-5983. Again, I'm Knifie Burks with Real Broker, your Tampa Bay area realtor. Okay, talk to you soon.